I was so content being in Saihara-Chan's arms. The words he said caused my heart to skip a beat. Perfect? He thinks I'm perfect? If I'm perfect, then he must be a god or something. I know we were talking about going to the cafeteria, but I don't want to leave his arms. The way his hands on my shoulders made me shudder, and the blush he can bring to my cheeks by saying one simple word. This boy is unreal. I love being like this with Kokichi. He is so cute how he clings to me, like a clingy puppy. So adorable. Kokichi, we should probably go, I whispered, trying to get up, only to be stopped. No, I don't want to, he said before holding me tighter and putting his head into my chest. I blushed at the sudden contact and at his words. He's so childish, and although I don't want to admit it, it's actually really adorable. I put my hands on his back, noting the small sigh that left his lips when I did so. Kokichi, we need to go. I'm not even sure if anyone will notice if we're not there, but seeing how thin Kokichi is, and keeping in mind that he tried to kill himself, I should probably make sure he gets enough nutrition, because I want him to be able to see that I want him here, and I want him to be here with me. He mumbled something into my shirt before slowly getting off me. I could hear the groan leave his lips, probably from the loss of contact. Before he fully got off me, he looked at me annoyed with a childish pout on his face. I sighed and got up after him and put my jacket back on. Hey, Kokichi, did you, eat anything yesterday? I asked timidly, worried he would be offended. I want to make sure he's alright, but I don't want to seem like I'm babying him. Because I know more than anything he likes to do things on his own, and that's why I'm so grateful he trusts me enough to be able to support him through this. I would say yes, but if you want the honest answer, I can't really remember the last time I had something other than Panta to keep me awake, he said, looking away from me. I walked over with a frown. I'm glad he is finally telling the truth, but it pains me to see how much pain he has caused himself because of how other people made him feel. The way people have treated him, I never want to leave his side to be able to keep him safe. Because even if he sees it or not, I love him so much that whenever he is gone for a second, I remember how much I love him. Kokichi, whenever you're gone, I feel more lonely than I've ever felt before in my life. Hey, Kokichi, I'm going to help you, okay? But you have to put some effort into trying to get better, alright? I put my hands on his shoulders. He immediately leaned into my hands. It seemed to put him at ease, which is exactly what I was going for. He didn't say anything, so I said something to fill the silence. So, I'm gonna make sure that you get some food in your stomach. I've heard that when you don't eat, your whole body goes in a funk. It might even help your nightmares, but I'm not certain. I asked, feeling awkward from him, not reacting at all. He turned around and looked me in the eyes before putting his face into my chest, causing my face to start getting hot. Saihara-Chan, you make me feel so happy. You care so much about me and I don't even know what to say other than thank you, Saihara-Chan, he said into my chest. I could feel his face getting hotter. He must be telling the truth then. Of course, Kokichi, I said before grabbing his shoulders again to make him look at me. We should really go to lunch though, I said with a concerned look. He looked scared only for a second before his expression softened. Okay, he said with a nod, walking over to the door. Pulling the cafeteria door open, I opened his hand as we headed over to the cafeteria. When we walked in, Kaito immediately rushed over to me. Startled by the sudden approach, I jumped back a little bit. Suichi, I wanted to tell you that I'm sorry for the way I reacted earlier, Kaito said, looking down as Maki walked over from the table to his side, keeping her glare on Kokichi the whole time. It's alright, I can see why you did it though. I said the last part under my breath. I looked up and saw a smile on his face. Thank you, sidekick. Do you want to get some food? He asked, gesturing to the table he and Maki were sitting at. Sure. He walked over to the table before I looked at Kokichi, who to most would look like he was fine, but I could tell he was nervous about eating because of the way he held my hand so tightly. I leaned down to whisper to him, "Kokichi, do you want to eat over there, or would you be more comfortable if it was just us?" I asked, concerned, immediately studying his expression afterwards. "Well, if you want to sit by the others, then we can," he said, looking fully serious. "Kokichi, that's not what I asked," I said with a sigh, moving my other hand to his hand. I was standing in front of him, holding both of his hands, waiting for his answer. "I don't want to make you have to not be with your friends, but..." He looked away and I grabbed his chin to see his face. He looked like he was about to cry. "I would be comfortable with eating with you, and only you. It's not because I hate your friends. I just have never liked eating in front of other people," he said, a blush coming to his cheeks. I kissed him on the forehead before planting one brief kiss on his lips. He gave me a smile, and it looked genuine, and it caused me to smile too. "It's okay, Kokichi. I understand this must be hard for you. And I want to be able to be with you every step of the way," I said, pulling him into a hug before taking him over to another table. I got some rice, vegetables, and some meat for a well-balanced meal for both me and Kokichi. I got some extra for Kokichi, seeing as he hadn't had a real meal in a while. He smiled when I sat next to him. "Thank you, Saihara-Chan, for all of this," he said, leaning his head on my arm, causing me to lean my head, placing it on top of his. "Make sure you try to eat as much as you can, alright?" I said, giving him an encouraging nudge. His hand shakily moved to grab the fork before he put some food in his mouth. His eyes widened for a second before he started eating the food faster, showing me how hungry he really was. I smiled to myself. "I'm glad to see that you're eating, Kokichi. I just want to make sure you feel alright." "Kokichi?" I asked, looking down at him with a proud smile. "Yeah, Saihara-Chan?" he asked, looking confused. "I'm glad you're eating again." He blushed after the words came out of my mouth, and it caused me to blush seeing how cute he was when he was flustered, or when he's lost for words. He gave me a small smile before going back to devouring his food.